Welcome back, everyone. On today's show, I have Rudy Riot and Jackie Viixin from the band Reckless Messiah. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us. I
Yeah,
was
for
hyped.
sure.
I was hyped when you asked us to be guests, man. I'm more than happy to be here. So thank you.
You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
absolutely.
So what?
Absolutely.
So what's got you guys liking old '80s hair metal? What started this?
You want to go first, Jackie? Me?
Go, you
Rudy,
got
that's
it.
fine. Go
All
ahead.
right, cool. Yeah. So for me, I grew up. I live here in Florida, and I grew up playing baseball my whole life, all the way into college for a couple of years, even. But dude, I just remember those little league games, and I had my little iPod Nano, the little skinny green one, and everything I listened to was what we love. Like that's just what I listened to as a kid. So Bon Jovi, Kiss, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister, Molly Crew, and a million other. It was definitely more mainstream for me at that point, of course, because I was just a kid. But man, that stuff that was the hype music, to listen to before going out and playing a game. And Jeremy, I'm sure you get this being from North Carolina. As I grew up, I definitely grew a love for country music as well, and that kind of took over as my main music for a little while. But and I hate to say this, but when The Dirt came out, I watched The Dirt on Netflix, and then I was like, damn, there was a lot of good music
Yeah.
that I have not listened to in a long time. And so I just like full fledged dove in, and then that was when I really started searching like the underground bands and stuff like that. And dude, it's just been a whirlwind from there. I was like, just decided I was gonna start a band. I mean, I've only played guitar for like 2.5 years, but I was like, I gotta do that. I'm gonna figure out a way, whether it's finding people on Instagram the way I did or starting it local. Like, I just gotta do this because this music rocks, and I wanted to play it.
Go ahead, Jackie. How about you?
Um, Started probably 4 years ago, and I remember, well, growing up listening to my mom's stuff and all of my uncle's stuff, and my mom had all the Poison and Bon Jovi, and then my uncle had Motley Crue and Iron Maiden and Metallica and all those bands. So I had all of it, and then probably about 4 years ago, I went to see Guns N' Roses live, and I was watching them, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So I went to go get a bass, and then I went to see Bon Jovi, and then when I saw them, that's when I was like, okay, I have to do this. I got to do this.
There's no better. I'm telling you guys. Being a how old are you guys? How old are you, Rudy?
I'm 28.
And how old are you, Jackie?
I'm 19,
19. Okay. I'm
10 years
telling you,
apart.
growing up in the '80s, there was no better era of music. I don't care what anybody tells you, but anybody, whatever generation you grew up in, it's the best. But I'm telling you, the '80s, it was all about the music was all about sex. It was all about girls. It was all about having fun. And when I was Jackie's age, you know, you didn't hear you didn't hear hair metal on the radio like you do now. I felt old the other day. I got in the truck and went to Walmart, and I'm on the classic rock station, and they played "Shout at the Devil," and I'm thinking to myself, I really need to go back home and just go back to bed. Because when I was young and you turned on a classic rock station, it was Leonard Skinner. It
Right.
was Foghat. It
Yep.
was stuff like that. But now I was like, God, I'm dating myself. But to make a long story short, you heard stuff and you broke out the old Memorex tape and you taped, or your friend would go get the new LA Guns tape, and you would dub it, and that was your cruising music.
Oh yeah. No, that's
Right.
so awesome. And I was gonna say one thing you reminded me of when you said Fogat was a lot of us. I think this might have something to do with like a bit of the music resurgence for hair metal, but a ton of us played Guitar Hero and Rock Band when we were kids. and you reminded me Slow Ride. I don't remember which one of those it was on, but a
Slow Ride was
ton,
on there. Yeah.
yeah, a ton of us played those games, and it was a lot of fun. And like you said, you were saying this is just the best music, and I agree because, dude, it's just I want to have a good time. I don't want to be a down, sad boy and blah blah blah. I want to have fun. I want, and it's this music's got something to latch on to. It's got soul and sustenance, and so I think that really hit us when we were kids. And then like as we went through our middle school and high school, we might have strayed a little bit, but when we had that little spark lit, it was like, oh my god, like this stuff is so good. And then once you start going to the concerts, it's over when you see them playing on stage. That's it.
It's done for.
I'm so glad you guys are embracing the music. I have a 25-year-old daughter, so she's kind of in between the two of you. And
Right.
she started listening to hair metal when she was about 2.
Heck yeah.
So when she got strapped in my Dodge truck, she it was Heaven's Edge, it was Hurricane Alice, it was XYZ, and she grew a love for it. And she loves it now. So like I say, it's great to see. So is that Motley Crue on your arm?
Yes, sir. Theater of
Nice.
Pain.
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
Yep.
So you guys like the dirt, huh?
So it it's a wild movie for sure, and I'm sure there's all kinds of Hollywood in it, and I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of Motley Crue members nowadays. John Five, great, awesome, but I don't really associate too much with what's going on with them nowadays. I like the attitude, the scene, the looks, and the sound of the '80s Motley Crue, and that's kind of what I associate with. As you see, I got the '85
There you
theater
go.
paint font, but yeah, no, the dirt's fine. It's a fun watch, when you're hanging out with your friends, like anyone who enjoys this era. It's a fun watch for sure.
So
Yeah.
Jackie, what's the do you have a metal scene in Minnesota? How do you guys interact with one another as far as do you do something in your home and then you do something there and you put it together? I think that's kind of the way a lot of it works nowadays.
Yeah, me and Rudy, we both record our separate parts and we send it off to our producer, and then he will mix it until we can all get to the same place for
Are
sure.
you all
But
are you all eventually gonna get in a neutral area, or is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so that's the plan for sure. So like when I started it, it was literally just me. It wasn't even called Reckless Messiah, actually. It was called Steel Splice, which we named our record label Steel Splice Records, just to kind of nod to the first name. But it was just me and Steel Splice, and I just like went on Instagram, just kind of hung out in the scene, tried to make some friends and follow new people and follow bands of the same taste. And I was just looking for good people that I would enjoy being with, playing with, getting along with, as opposed to finding people right here in my town that are not good people. So I started there. I found Jackie first. But yeah, the goal is definitely to get everybody in the same area so that we can play live. Because of course, like going to a studio would be way cooler than the way we're doing it, and I want to play live. We all do, but I figured if we get good people together from the get go, that'll be better. We can focus on getting together later because at least now we can make music and get it out there. So
You guys being young and doing what you're doing, it's not like that it's that much easier, but back then those guys only had a Rip magazine or a Metal Edge to have their picture in. If you got lucky, if something was, if they got a lot of shout out on Headbangers Ball, next thing you know, you're on what they called the Hard 30. It came
right,
on from like 4 to 4:30 on MTV. Then it became the Hard 60. And if you had enough chatter on MTV, then you got put on that. Then you got big. But you guys can post something, and a million people can see it in 2 seconds.
yeah, no,
right.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
it's great. Like for one, you really respect those guys I don't want to say that made it, because there was a lot of really hardworking
Oh, yeah.
people that didn't make it, so that's not really the right word. But you do really respect like the people that were able to get onto the scene at least, because it had to take so much work. I mean, forget what we're doing right now, working in different states. I mean, forget about it. But that would never happen. But yeah, just the knowing people, talking to people, networking, and going to all those shows and grinding and playing, like you definitely earn a respect for the way that they did it back then. And I'm thankful that we can put music out now, because so me and the other guitar player, we do co-leads. He lives right here in town with me, so me and him are together. And then Jackie's in Minnesota. Our guy who fills in for drums in the studio, he's also our producer. He lives in LA. So it's nice to be able to send it to a real good producer and have him go after it. But yeah, it's a whole different world. Though I want to be doing it in person and playing shows, and I think going to a studio would be much more fun. But yeah.
So are you under a label now?
Sort of. You have to like pick a record label when you
Yeah.
go through distribution. It forces you to do so. And so that was the label we named Steel Splice Records, but it's all of our own stuff.
Yep, it's all of us.
Okay. So you have your own record label, the four of you.
Yeah, technically, it's not
Yeah.
like licensed or anything, but yeah.
How often your first song that you've got released on iTunes, how often can you release a song? Anytime you want to, or
Yep.
Yep.
so you going to
You can put
release
down
one at
3.
a time, or are you going to release like one at a time, or are you going to do a whole album at some point?
We're gonna release 3 singles and then have an album at the end.
There you go. You're going to get you a website, sell T-shirts and koozies and all that
Yeah.
kind of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to do merch.
That's what
For
I'm
sure.
trying to do. I have a and don't think I'm a girl, because if you think I'm a girl, it's okay. I don't care. I'm in touch with my feminine self. I mean, I got Barney Rubble over here with Fred Flintstone shirt, but I have a cricket machine, and I made some T-shirts, and I made T-shirts, and I made my own business cards with hair metal rules on it, and I put my QTR code on the back from Instagram. I did all that myself, and when we went to M3, I was handing out T-shirts to see if
Nice.
I could get followers.
Yeah,
But it
that's
takes
awesome.
hours upon hours upon hours to make those T-shirts. So, I'm gonna go to one of these places. The logo this in the back of me here. I'm gonna go to one of those places where they print it out in a sheet. If you guys ever want anybody to heat press anything for you, I'm your man. I got a garage. I get you T-shirts. We'll have
Sick.
everybody in America wearing a Reckless Messiah T-shirt.
I love
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
know.
Yeah, no, we definitely want to
We-
do Oh, go ahead, Jackie.
Go ahead, Jake.
I know we were going to do merch at some point with Steel when the band was still Steel Splice.
Right.
Because I know we made shirts for all the band members just to see how it would work out. But I don't.
Yeah.
The prices were too high for. It was like
You see,
$30 a shirt, and
Yeah.
then you can't sell a shirt $30 when you're starting out as a band.
Well, I did some T-shirts. I did like 5. It was back, a year and a half ago, and made them, and I sent them to Tom Tracy, the guy that has my music at the beginning. I sent Dr. Star one, and he took a picture with it. A
Nice.
couple of other guys I sent T-shirts to, and the T-shirt was $2 and a half. The heat transfer I made might have cost me $3, but
Wow.
it was $15 to mail the darn thing to somebody. That's why,
Crazy. For a shirt.
I see new bands, and like, I'd love to have their T-shirt. It's $30. I get it, because shipping and handling is so much, unless you get somebody that's, handling it for you, and you just pay a lump sum of postage, it's not so
Right.
bad. But
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected $15 to ship it. I'd be trying to fold the thing up and stuff it into a little envelope and
Yeah,
put it in the
and-
mailbox.
I put it in the smallest envelope I could put it in, but it doesn't matter. It's just the weight of the T-shirt, because
Right.
the more you fold it, the more it weighs. I know that sounds stupid, but the more you fold it, the more it weighs. But so
Right.
So Rudy, who's
I
your
saw-
favorite? Who's your favorite hair metal bands?
Favorites?
Give me your top five.
Top five. Okay. Should I do five mainstream and five underground, or just?
I want five hair metal bands that I might not know about.
Oh man, I'm not gonna pick anyone you don't know about. I've already seen stuff on your page that I don't know about, so I'm probably out on that one. But if you're, I'll do my best. So I would.
How about underrated bands? Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
five good underrated. So I would go starting at five. I would say Kick-Axe,
Kick Axe, yep.
and then I would go. Do you know about Tough Luck?
Oh yeah.
Tough Luck. Their guitar player actually plays bars here in town.
Oh wow.
Dave Scott plays here in Florida.
Nice.
And then I would probably go like maybe Keel at three. And then I would go Rough Cut at number two. I feel like I'm going to say someone, and as soon as I get off, I'm going to be like, you idiot, why didn't you pick this one?
It doesn't matter. You go right ahead.
I'm gonna go with Danger Danger, dude. They're so good.
Danger. All right, Jackie, how about you?
Probably have to go number one, Danger Danger. Absolutely. Number two, probably have to go White Lion because White Lion is incredibly underrated. Number three, probably Kick-Axe.
Okay.
For Killer Dwarves, if you haven't heard of them.
Oh yeah, Dirty Weapons.
You probably have. Yep. And then five, Hurricane Alice. I like Hurricane Alice.
Nice.
I think they're from Minnesota too.
Yeah.
Hurricane Alice, Hurricane's good. I see you got the Lillian Axe shirt. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Steve Blaze lives in the town next to where my wife's parents used to live.
Okay.
And I worried the snot out of him on Instagram one time, trying to get his address because we were going down there for Mardi Gras. And he never would answer me. So I put, hey, Steve, show a little love and give me your address. That got him right there. So he gave me his address. But make a long story short, I talked to him a couple of times on Instagram, and he said, if you're in, get up with me when you come down here and I'll meet you. Well, the first day we got down there, they had a family gathering at a restaurant, and I walked by this guy sitting at a table with his wife and kid, and it was him.
That's awesome.
Steve Blaze from
Just
Lillian
hanging out.
Axe. So yeah, and I didn't want. I told my wife, I said, "There's Steve Blaze." She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I don't want to act like some schoolgirl and start yelling and screaming and all that kind of junk." So I waited to watch him walk out the door. So I just casually walked out. I said, Steve, I said, I'm the guy you've been talking to on Instagram. He's just the nicest guy. So the next day we met him at Starbucks in his hometown, and he brought some pictures that he autographed and, just sat down and chatted. So we see him a lot at different places. Wherever he's at, we normally try to, go to it. But
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, but Shotgun, I'm not Shotgun Messiah, but you said Hurricane Alice. My next podcast is going to be David Reese. David Reese sang for Bangalore Choir.
Okay.
Half of Bangalore Choir is Hurricane Alice. Jackie Ramos, the guitar players on there, Ian Mayo. So David Reese talks about.
Yeah,
he talks about that. So my top five. Cool. Let's see my top five.
Let's get it.
I'm gonna go. Five would be Heaven's Edge.
Great.
4 is gonna be a band called Hitman, and I put them on Instagram this morning. They were from New York, Chicago, Detroit, something like that. And if you ever download the first Hitman, that's some good stuff right there, man. I'm telling you, they never got big. So
that was one I saw. That was like one of those I was talking about. I was like, I'm not going to stump you because I didn't even know Hitman, but I did see your post this morning. That's cool.
Rudy, I totally forgot Rudy. White Fox.
Yeah, I was thinking of Starry Eyes. I had them in the back of my head while Jeremy was talking.
And I would say I will go with this is one of my favorite bands of all time right here.
Oh, Rocks Gang.
Rocks
Oh my
Gang.
God.
Can you see it?
It's kind of
Oh
coming
yeah.
in and out, but
It's
there we go.
And I got Kevin Steele to sign it.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
love that
hell
album.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rocks
Scratch My
Gang.
Back, so good.
Uh, and I would say Icon, the album Right Between the
Forgot
Eyes.
about that.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, I'll have to look into them more, but I listened to your show and I've heard you talking about Icon.
I actually tracked down the guitar player's name's Tracy Wallach,
Okay.
and I found a Tracy Wallach on the internet. So I took a chance and I got his address. So I didn't know if it was him or not. So I took a chance and I mailed it to him, and he sent me this index card and he said, "You're one hell of a detective," because I didn't think anybody would ever find me anywhere. And it was him. And he
That's
signed the
awesome.
card and sent me some guitar picks. And I had the Night of the Crime album. So I mailed it to him. And he's going
Okay.
to get the original members. They still get together. So he's going to get them to sign the Night of the Crime album. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm a pretty
Oh
good
yeah.
investigator.
That's
So
awesome.
what do you guys let's see, what can we say here? How often do you guys record? How often do you send music back and forth to one another?
Yeah, I would say we definitely bounce ideas off of each other more than recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like just last night, I kind of had thought up a new idea for I think it would be like maybe our fifth song, and it was just a simple melody, just a hook with the guitar, and so I would play that and send it off to the guys and be like, hey, what do you think of this? And anytime someone writes something, they'll either record it into the software or just kind of send a quick video to the guys. Recording is definitely more rare. Like once everyone's kind of got it figured out, we'll bounce ideas to our producer Bruce, and he'll kind of start putting stuff together, and then send us a demo track, and then we can record the next part over it, and kind of gets pieced together like that.
Well,
Yeah.
if Rudy sends you something, Jackie, how easy is it for you to pick up and start a bass line for it? Is that easy for you to do, or do you have? I'm sure you have bass line ideas in your head too.
Yeah, I for sure do, and I can. It comes pretty easy to me, but at the same time, I also need to see what his notes are for the song. I need to be able to see what I'm doing.
But
Yeah, like
you
And
guys
tab.
seem to
ours,
work. You guys seem to work
yeah,
really good in tandem together. That's good.
me
Yeah,
and Rudy for
absolutely.
sure. I'm not.
Jackie.
I'm not. I'm not a lyrical person. I'm not a good lyricist. Like I don't know how to put words together like that. That's not me. But I have the ideas, and Rudy knows how to put it down on paper. I know we've written a couple songs like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, he'll
So
have.
how easy is it to get inspiration from Hair Nation, listening to hair metal? How easy is it to get inspiration? Is it just this is what we want to do? What sound are you trying to go for?
I
Good
think we all have
question.
our own. We all have our own taste that we're all trying to go for.
Put it all
Yeah,
together? Sure.
as far as members, yeah, he's definitely right. Like the different members have a different aspect for sure. That's a good point. Like, like as far as listening, my taste is everywhere, in the genre. But as far as like playing, I end up in like the Wasp, Motley Crue. I would say like a little bit of AC/DC kind of area, and then Jackie,
I've I always try and do like a Bon Jovi, Poison, all that pop rock
Sure.
instead of just
Sure.
the hard rock. And lately I've been trying to do some like I don't know if you know this, but I've been trying to do some like ex Japan type stuff, but that's fast
Yeah.
and moves around a lot.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
one of the when I was in high school, everybody wanted to have a band. I had a lot of friends that had bands, and one of the guys, his name's Guy Unger, and he was in a band called Aces Wild, and they played all over my hometown here. And he still plays guitar. He actually teaches guitar now. He lives about 30 minutes away. But anyway, I got into Fate's Warning and Dream Theater. And I told him, I said, you guys need to play Pull Me Under. I don't know if you've ever heard that song before, but
No, I've heard of Dream Theater by name. That's it.
Dream Theater and Fate's Warning was considered progressive rock, and there's a lot of drum tempo changes. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
Yeah, so like that speed metal kind of feel.
yeah, he's like, that stuff's too hard. That stuff's too hard to play. So I said, okay. I said, so how about playing uh I Don't Believe in Love by Queen's Rock? I said, can you pull that off?
Great
Sure
song.
enough, they nailed it. But that
That's
was a
awesome.
fun thing. That was a fun thing about the '80s. You know, everybody had a band. You know,
Yeah, that's
and you
so
didn't even know how. Half of them, I'm like, you didn't know how to play guitar 2 days ago, and you really still don't know how to play guitar. But at least you're trying. You know what I mean? You
yeah.
got the look. And I remember in 11th grade, we had a lip sync contest in high school, and me and the four guys that we were in art class, so we made our own guitars and all that kind of stuff, and
Yep.
we did Dream Warriors,
Nice.
and
Nice.
brought the house down with Dream Warriors, you know, because that's
Talking.
what everybody was
Hell
into.
yeah.
Give me some plugs. Talk about Reckless Messiah. What do you guys want to do? Where's it going? Talk to me.
Yes.
Plug your band.
So, just one thing I forgot to say. You were asking me about like inspirations. One for me, definitely that was huge. Both like when I was a kid and just for kind of wanting to tailor my sound to now was Quiet Riot for sure. Like I know it's like the two top cliche Quiet Riot songs, but like the first time you hear "Bang Your Head" and "Come On Feel
Sure.
the Noise," it changes you, man. Like that's
And
so that's
everybody
a
knows those songs.
yeah.
Everybody
Ru-
knows them. You know.
Rudy, I thought your favorite was Nirvana, Rudy.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Get this guy out of here.
You know, it's funny. You know, you mentioned that, and everybody said grunge killed hair metal. Grunge didn't necessarily kill hair metal. I think,
Yeah,
in my personal opinion, there were so many bands that looked just alike, that
yeah,
sounded just alike. Because even
hair metal
into
killed
like
hair metal.
exactly. Hair metal killed the record companies killed hair metal, and then there was so much of it out there. Then something new came along, and they're like, we're going to go in this direction. Because
for sure.
even in like 90, 91, 92, there were hair metal bands coming out that were better than what was coming out in '86. You know,
For
you got
sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Saints and Sinners came out in '90.
You got
Danger was
Firehouse.
the Firehouse.
Firehouse.
Danger was still.
I forgot an underrated one that probably would have been on my list was Sleazebees when you started talking about that era.
There you go. That's
So
yeah.
good.
But I
And
mean, you know, in those CDs, they never got any kind of, they never went anywhere. So go ahead and talk about your band. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
no, no, you're good. Yeah, so we got, well, actually, right now. So Jackie's on bass. I do lead guitar, co leads with my buddy Gordy, who lives here in town with me. And then we've got a studio drummer who's also our producer, who's Bruce Bain. Um, we actually just had to let go of our singer who's on the On My Way to Rock track. So we are currently looking for, a new singer for hire. So anybody who loves this, anybody listening to this podcast loves this era. So if
Hey,
you can
Jeremy,
sing,
I think you'd be perfect, Jeremy.
You think so? Hey,
Yeah, I think
I
so.
give anything a shot one time.
heck yeah. I'll just cover On My Way to Rock. That's your audition.
That's
But
my audition. Yeah.
yeah, but we got one track out On My Way to Rock. It's available on everything. And I'm definitely proud of it because, like I said, for a while, it was just me, no skills, no nothing, and I had to eventually find my members. And so basically my point is there was a lot of time where I was just saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So it felt really good to finally get all the pieces in line, get that first one out. And man, we have some killer demos ready for recording. So
And
we
then
just got to,
after I joined the band, there's a lot of we're gonna do
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just like anything else. Just like with this podcast, I've always wanted to do it, and I procrastinate. My wife's like, if you don't go do it, you're never going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, quit talking about it because I'm tired of hearing it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yes, ma'am. So my very first podcast sounded like Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies because I had to type everything out because
Right.
I practiced talking to a wall. It's hard to, when you have somebody's face on there, it's a whole lot easier. But I'm a stammerer and a stummerer, and I forget where
Yeah.
I'm at. But the good thing about that is when I run it through my program, I can cut every bit of that out. So
Nice.
I don't stammer
Right.
near as bad. But
That's awesome.
it's great that I think it's great you two communicate as well as you do. That's and if you
Yeah,
like it, what my point was, if you keep putting stuff off and you never do it, you can't blame nobody but yourself. Because how do you know you wouldn't be how you know you wouldn't be more popular than Motley Crue if you didn't ever try and do it,
totally.
Right.
Yeah. Jackie, as far as the communication thing goes, Jackie always calls us the Richie and John
Are you,
of our band.
There's nothing wrong with that. Even Richie and John went separate ways, but they're still in contact more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
First
Yeah,
concert I ever saw was Bon Jovi.
that's awesome. Oh yeah, with Skid Row.
That's awesome.
Bon Jovi and Skid
Hell yeah.
Row, yeah.
That's right.
New
Yep.
Jersey.
New Jersey tour, yeah, very first one. And
That's such a good tour.
the bands nowadays have so much right here in the palm of their hand.
Yep.
You don't
Right.
have to hand out flyers. You don't have to, have stupid contests to get people. You don't have to. I know one guy I talked to, they had to pay $800 to play at the Whiskey, but they had to sell the tickets
That's crazy.
to make money off of it back then. The smaller bands. You know what I mean?
That was just in one of your shows, right? I think I was just listening to that one.
Yeah, that was the guy from KNAC,
Yes.
the DJ for KNAC. Yeah, he said, and you didn't make any money unless
That's
you were
wild.
big.
Yep.
Right.
Man, that's crazy having to pay that kind of money for the show.
But you guys can be as big as you want to be. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you like a dad because both of you are old enough to be my kids. I'm telling you, in life, if you don't go for it, you got nobody to blame but yourself if you don't get it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
Seriously.
I agree.
And you've got an instrument in your hands that's got more knowledge than any man I've ever seen, but he just gets nervous about stuff, and that's Dr. Starr. That man knows so many people. That man had such a life and such a career, but I can't pin him down to say, look, dude, you need to write a book.
I know. He's great, and he's such a nice guy too. Me and Jackie
Shout out
both
to Dr.
talked to
Starr.
him.
There you go. I probably already told you this, but I think I told you, Rudy. I first saw Dr. Starr on an ad in Rip magazine, and he had the stethoscope around his neck. He showed that picture on Instagram, and I'm like, I bet you that band's gonna be pretty cool. Little did I know, 35 years later, I would actually be talking to the guy in the Rip magazine ad.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, yeah, that's right. We were talking about it because I was saying like, yeah, social media's got plenty of downsides and evils, but man, I gotta say, the way it's brought this hair metal community together is crazy. Let alone a bunch of bands, popping up everywhere again and wanting to bring this kind of music back. Let alone that being cool enough. It's really like brought people together.
Well, I want to see you and your generation make it as big as the Sunset Strip again, and things go in trends.
For sure.
The 80s, being that I lived it, I look around now and I see a lot of the 80s things coming back into play. And I'm telling you, the music you play is fun, it's innocent, music is supposed to make you happy. You're not supposed to listen to music. It's like, God, I'm just so daggum depressed. I don't know what to do. You're supposed to want to go out and go get a bottle of Jack Daniels, supposed to want to go out and get in your car and turn the radio as loud as you can and drive and hope you don't get a speeding ticket. That's what your music. That's what this music. I'm serious. That's what this music is all about. And
Absolutely.
grab it by the horns, man, and ride that music as far as you can ride it. I want to see you. I want to see you big.
I couldn't agree more. It's got to
Yep.
be about a good time, and that's definitely what On My Way to Rock does, and absolutely what the next one does. You'll love the next one, talking about
Yeah,
what you
for
just talked
sure.
about. It's spot on.
Y'all just keep your head screwed on right and keep looking ahead and
For
don't let
sure.
nobody. I know I've talked to a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily happen now because you guys can pretty much independently move around and I'm gonna record this. Okay, I'm down here, send it to me. Back then a lot of these bands that we've talked about that never made it big, they had somebody that was telling them something that was not right
Yep.
because
Right.
one of the guys said you had an apple when you got signed to a record. This person took a bite. This person took a bite, and when you got it, you got a lot of money, but you had just a little bitty piece of it, and that was all you had left.
Right.
But nowadays you can call your own shots with things.
Totally. Totally.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree. And hopefully, when we do, we have about like 5 ideas, counting On My Way to Rock, 5 songs kind of hanging out. And it seems like we're coming up with them and writing pretty quick. So the album isn't too far out of the question as far as having the songs. But hopefully, once we do get to that, we can put it out on vinyl because I'm a huge physical media guy.
Yes.
So I want to do the merch,
Yep.
but I want to do a cassette at some point. I want the first album on vinyl, which is going to be a huge investment, I know, but I'm really wanting to do that. So it's
You know, bands like yourself back in the day were in the back of Metal Edge magazine, and I used to send them $5 in the mail and get
that's
their demo
awesome.
tapes.
Oh yeah,
I
that's so
wish I
cool.
wish I still had them, but my grandma's basement flooded. But that's the route you're wanting to go, and cassette tapes are big right now.
Oh yeah, for
Cassette
sure.
tapes are huge.
For sure.
Vinyl. I'm like you.
Oh yeah.
I like to hold vinyl in my hand,
Yep, something different about it, man.
and it sounds good.
Sounds great. I'm
Absolutely.
just like a cover art junkie. Like when we get to doing our singles, I just like can't wait to. All right, let's start figuring out the cover art. Let's do this because I just like I love having that big vinyl in my hands, looking at cover art, all the sleeves in the back. Yeah, and to get one of those with our own band name, on I like. I need it. I
Well,
need it.
it'll make you feel like you're accomplishing now. Don't get me wrong, but when you hold something in your hand that's got your name on it, and you flip it over on the back, and all your names are listed, you really accomplished something. Nobody can
Right.
never take that away from you.
I agree. Amen.
Yep.
You got the look down, son.
Yeah, he does.
If I saw you walk down the street, I'd probably tell my wife, I guarantee that guy's in a band. Let me go talk to him. You guys
Right.
kind of remind me
So
of.
there's a
Go
there's a
ahead.
park there's a park like a couple streets down that way, and every Wednesday they throw on a free like concert event for the people of this town. And I was there watching this one 80s tribute band, and then they came off the stage, so I was off to the side, and this guy came up to me. He's like, "Are you with the next band?" And I wanted to say yes so bad, and I was like, "No, no, no, I'm not." And we just talked, and he's like, "I used to be in a band in 1975," and da da da. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Da, da, da. Just this really old dude, and it was a
But you
cool.
know what? Go ahead and tell
I
them.
get I get I get
I'm
that
not
all the
playing
time.
next. I'm not playing next, but I will be playing soon. Just keep remember my face.
Right,
Heck
right.
yeah.
We went to Keel Fest a few years ago, and I had a long sleeve shirt on with her sleeves rolled up, and it had some kind of design on it. And there was a band there. Their name is Stolen Prayer.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
You know these
Yeah,
guys?
I'm
Oh yeah.
friends with Cece. So is Jackie.
Well, we saw them. We saw them at the Rockin' Pod Expo, and I talked to those guys, and I believe it might be the drummer. It was either the drummer or the bass player. I was sitting there, and they were there that night. He came up to me and said, "Hey, dude, are you a record producer? You look like I'm in a band." I'm like, "Dude, I know who you are. I talked to you earlier today."
Oh my
And
God.
those guys are so cool. They've got the look. They've got the LA sound going on, and that's good
Absolutely.
too. I wish them the best of luck as well. The more it'd be nice to see you guys, Stolen Prayer, other bands. Used to there would be 4 or 5 bands that would play in a package at the whiskey or whatever. It'd be nice to see 5 of you guys, new guys up there playing and rock
Scarlet
these old
Rose,
guys.
Scarlet Rose, Reckless Messiah, Stolen Prayer.
There you go.
Yeah, no,
Rock this old guy's shoes off. You know what I mean?
Right.
no, that'd be awesome. That's why I love the Instagram community. So many of us are able to get in touch and talk, and hopefully make something like that happen. So
Well, guys,
so much fun.
I'll do anything in the world to help you. I'll do anything in the world to promote you. We'll
Thank
put
you.
this
Thank you.
podcast on next Thursday, and you guys, I'm gonna put your song at the end of the show. Is that okay?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
please
for
do.
sure.
I
Yeah,
always, when I do a podcast, once it's over with, I have my little thing in the end, and I always play a couple of songs. I try to play songs, from these artists that people probably ain't never heard before, or they didn't know they were in this band. But I'll do that, and I have your music at the end of it, and
thank you.
hopefully,
Hell yeah,
a bunch of
sweet.
people will listen to it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, as soon as we get off, I'll be promoting it all till you post it.
And I'll definitely, I post one every Thursday, so it'll definitely be posted around lunchtime next Thursday. So, and
Cool.
it's
Sweet.
more people listen to it on Spotify than anything else. So that's I get
Okay,
more hits
cool.
on Spotify.
Okay.
So,
Sweet.
well,
Well, I
guys,
gotta,
it's been a pleasure.
yeah, I gotta
Oh,
say
thank
one
you.
more thing.
Go ahead.
I feel super vindicated to finally have another Southerner who's a hair metal fan. Because
Yeah.
for everyone else, it's always someone, at least like Tennessee maybe or above, and everyone's always like, Rudy the Florida man, Rudy the Southerner, he's in the wrong genre. So now it's me and Jeremy versus the world.
That's right. Somebody told some friend of ours listen to the very first podcast, and even Tom Tracy, that like I said, that did the very first one. I said, Tom, I said, I sound like damn Paul Harvey or Andy Griffin on the podcast. I said, my accent is so terrible. He's like, nah, man. He said, I can listen to you talk for hours. Just it's
Yep.
funny when you do AI. Like if I text with my mouth, half the time I don't even know what I'm saying. But that's all right with
messed
me.
up.
I'm Southern, and I'm proud of it. I love hair metal.
Me too,
I
man.
love what you guys are doing, and I
Hey, you
wish
know what?
Go ahead.
Thank
To make
you.
you guys feel better. I'm from Minnesota. You know what we get all the time? Oh, you're from Minnesota, eh? Oh,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, that's what we get. And we're like, we sound nothing like that.
But I don't pick up. I don't pick up an
We
accent
only
often.
only thing I figured out that is real is that we say pop. We don't say soda. People
Yeah.
here say pop.
Yeah.
And like that's the only thing I've like really figured out that's true. But everything else, like, I don't know one person that says Minnesota. Like,
Yeah.
Well, since you're from Minnesota, do you like grits?
yeah,
You know what grits are, right, Rudy?
I
Yeah.
do.
Okay. Do you like grits, Rudy?
Yeah.
yeah.
I was getting ready to say the other night. You know what me and my wife had for supper? We had a pot of grits dripping with butter and toast.
Nice. Nice.
That's about as
Nice,
southern
hell
as you
yeah.
can get.
that or the biscuits and the sausage gravy.
Biscuits and gravy, yes, sir.
We
Yeah.
like hot dish. Hot dish is our food here.
I've eaten hot dish before. My mom used to make that, so I know what that is. That's good too.
Yeah, Minnesota loves hot dish.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. This has been
Thank you.
it's been so much fun. I hope you had
Yeah.
a good time, and we'll keep talking.
Awesome.
Hit me up anytime you
Hell
want
yeah.
to. Word
sure.
the snot out of me, and we'll get you guys rolling. How's that?
That sounds
All
great.
right.
Thank you so much for
Sounds
having
great.
us. We had a lot of fun too. We were
Hey,
talking
man,
about it the whole week leading up to it.
well, God bless you both, and I wish you nothing but luck. And be careful and take care of yourself. All right.
Sounds
You
great,
too.
Jeremy.
Keep that
Thank
music
you.
going.
You got it.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Take care, guys.
See you, man. Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye. Thank you.
Another day at the same old 9 to 5. Just one idea that's keeping me alive. Yeah, got my head in the sky and I will to survive. I got a dream that'll never die. I'm not gonna play a game. I'm on my way to rock. Won't let nothing stop this train. I'm on my way to rock. Could've gotten lucky, could've bet it all back. Then I'll be rolling like a 6-string heart attack, baby. Got to work all night until I'm under the lights. I won't go down without a fight. Listen close to what I say. I'm on my way to rock. Won't let nothing in my way. On my way to rock. I'll try my best to take my shot. On my way to rock. Gonna give it all I got. On my way to rock. I'm on my way to I'm on my way, on my way, I'm on my way to rock. I got to stay on my way to rock. On my way to rock. Damn it, they say you're gonna come with me. On my way to rock. I'm on my way, on my way to rock.
A lot of fun talking to Jackie and Rudy today from the band Reckless Messiah. Look them up on Instagram, Reckless Messiah, Rudy Riot, and Jackie Viixin, and check out their song On My Way to Rock on Spotify. These guys are trying to keep the 80s hair metal sound alive. Support them all you can and give them a chance. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Hair Metal Rules podcast. God bless.